Hi, Jason. Good to see you again.
David, always a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah. So, Jason, really interested in your perspectives today on the Great Resignation or cancellation, or I guess there's also different things. Hesitation. Yeah. Interested in what your thoughts are and what you're seeing in the marketplace around that.
Yeah, it's really interesting, David. So what happened in the UK and the US and a few other jurisdictions is towards the back half of the year, particularly October, they noticed a spike in resignations. So the American equivalent of the ABS keeps tabs of uh, I guess turnover within companies, and there was a huge spike. And what people attributed to this was, post lockdowns and COVID, people were sort of going back to work. They maybe didn't want to go back to the old place, so they went looking for new opportunities. And also because of the boom in a lot of the economies, particularly post-COVID, there was lots of opportunities for candidates. So there was a chance to have a fresh start, get a promotion, get a pay rise, whatever. In Australia, we haven't had the same change as overseas. And look, I'm not an economist, but I think Blind Freddie would say there are two factors in play. One is lawyers tend to be risk averse, and we only recruit lawyers. So the last thing they want to do is be last in and first out. The second one was the uncertainty of the combination of both the opening of the economy and the rise in Omicron, which are obviously very closely next. So what we found is that there wasn't this great resignation last year as there was overseas. Unlike the UK and the US, Australia's got a Southern Hemisphere timescale. So pretty much from the first or second week of December until Australia Day, don't talk to anyone about jobs or anything. Everyone's just in barbecue mode. Their priority is the beach. All those sorts of things seem to happen. This summer was different because we had, massive COVID influence. But anyway, long story short is people weren't job hopping over the summer, and even if they wanted to, many places were closed. So what I'm predicting is, and this is only day 2 for me back in the job, we've had a lot of clients who previously may have not even used a recruiter ring up because they just can't find staff. So job boards, generalist job boards in particular, like Seek, just aren't delivering like they have in years gone by. So there's an emphasis on recruiters. So what I think will happen is things will just take a few weeks for people to find their feet. And when you get to mid-Feb, March, there may be a little bit of an uptick. So particularly if law firms start saying to their lawyers, we expect you back in the office X days a week. I think there's, my view is that we can't put the genie of flexibility back into the bottle.
Agree.
So I think lawyers now have come to enjoy that flexibility. They've got extra hours in the day for family, commute, family exercise, whatever, in lieu of a commute. And I think that law firms that start demanding that their lawyers come back 5 days in the office are going to lose people. So that may be a catalyst, but I think also the fact that the market's so buoyant. I mean, normally you find either the litigation back-end people are busy or the transactional front people are busy. Now everybody is universally busy. Family lawyers are busy from partners being sick of each other during lockdown. Insurance is busy because they're all business interruption claims. Deals are getting done at a rate of knots. In-house is hiring quite dramatically. So there's a whole range of demand on lawyers. So lawyers may be looking to take advantage of that, and by moving jobs, are able to get a promotion, a pay rise, and maybe even a fresh start somewhere.
And I've heard that there's actually, a couple of pressures on the marketplace. I've heard that basically some of the international firms are actually eyeing people in this marketplace, trying to take them out of Australia and put them overseas. I guess
there's always been that brain drain, and there's been a lot of appeal for lawyers to go spend a couple of years in the UK or particularly Wall Street firms. And when you see how much they pay, it's amazing. The other thing that we're finding is a little bit of interest in places like Dubai and Singapore. Hong Kong has lost a bit of its gloss with some of the political issues in the last little while, but Singapore's actually picked up some of that work. So there's a little bit of a buzz around there. And particularly if you look at the tax rates in places like Dubai and Singapore, they can be quite appealing.
Oh, brilliant. No, brilliant. And I guess the influx of folks that might be coming in from overseas once they really open the borders up, I guess that'll be an interesting dynamic as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest influence will be the new free trade agreement with the UK that will allow it to be easier for UK lawyers to move here and have their degree recognised. It'll be interesting to see what detail comes out of that. I think it's still in discussion, but it could help the influx. But it may be a net zero effect because there may be the same amount of lawyers or even more wanting to go to the UK under that term as well.
Yeah. What about lawyers wanting to actually turn into, I guess, contractors or consultants? I mean, in terms of actually those guys going, you know what, I'm not leaving a job, but I want to operate on a different basis.
Yeah, so the growth of the new law firms has done a lot of that. A lot of lawyers are now sort of becoming their own lawyer on demand. I've got a friend who basically has 2 clients, works one 3 days a week and the other 2 days a week that are in-house. They're in non-conflicting industries. I just think some of those people get a lot of paperwork, and then you've got your insurances. So it's really horses for courses. I know some people love the flexibility because if they want to say, you know what, for the entire month of April, I don't want to work, I want to travel or read or have a sabbatical or study, whatever it is, they can do that. But some people, you know, particularly if they don't have a second, more stable income, they really need the security of having, you know, long jobs. So that may mean they want to do a contract for 6 to 12 months, or it may mean that they prefer a perm role.
Brilliant. Will be interesting 12 months to come, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Not a bad time to be a recruiter either, I might say.
Brilliant. Jason, thanks again for your time today. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers, David. All the best to you and your listeners.